Buy the Ferrari was what I'd written in the subject line I'd sent in the follow-up email to a client. And being honest, at the time, this was back in 2021, it was one of the coolest client emails I'd ever sent. I was like, wow. And the reason that this came up was super simple. I'm a mental performance consultant. I work with business owners, executives that are really ambitious and they want to make more money in less time with less stress and actually enjoy the journey of business. And with this client, he'd really been struggling with a number of different parts. But the thing that was getting to him in the moment, in that session, was competitor comparison and insecurity. And we've been doing a lot of work around insecurities and fears and doubts and things that were tripping him up and leaving him wasting a lot of time and wasting a lot of energy. But what happened, and this usually happens with my clients, is once they become aware of a shortfall, of a blind spot, they then start to project it onto everything. And he really wanted to buy his dream car since he was a kid. And the question he had was, Kieran, am I buying this because I'm insecure and I'm trying to show off, or am I buying it for the car? I don't know. I don't want to fall into the same traps I've fallen into the past. So I simply said, tell me about the car. And his eyes lit up like a child at Disneyland. And he went on a 10-minute speech on how everything had changed, how they'd changed the chassis, how they'd changed the brake pads, how they used different alloys. The aerodynamics was all completely different. Very specific, distinct changes on the interior. And he went on and on and on and on and on. And I just let him roll. And he goes, what do you think? And I said, what do I think? You've just told me a 10-minute speech on why you love this car. Your inner child was lighting up in the room. So it sounds like this is something that you want. But let me ask you these final two questions. Can you afford it? Yes, was the answer. If no one else could know if no one else could know that you had this car and no one else could see you driving it, and every time you got in it, you and the car became invisible, and it was just your own little private pleasure, would you still have it? And he said, absolutely, yeah, I would. I love this thing. So, subject line, buy the Ferrari. And I'm not a huge materialist. I do think a lot of entrepreneurs and execs use material things to cover up feelings of insecurity and doubt and inferiority and use it as a way of feeling enough. But I am an advocate for materialism and experiences that light up that inner 5-year-old that has your teenage self going, wow, that is so cool. I can't believe I get to experience that. I can't believe I get to do these things. Because when you can touch in to that inner child, you can start to touch into the soul. This is where you start to bring a different energy. You show up to the room differently. You become magnetic. You start to meet more people and you start to create more opportunities. So for me, if no one else could know and you still want it, and it's something that makes your inner child go, oh, that's so cool. I would absolutely love and adore this. Usually that's actually usually a better purchase, regardless if it's material or if it's uh, an experience that you want to experience. So that's a cool little story I thought I'd share. I'm going to be sharing more little client stories as we go on this YouTube series. If you loved it, make sure you hit like and subscribe. Love and strength. Till next time.